Calderon looks for Bosch. Excellent job. Bosch denied by Dallin there. Bang! Big bucket, Jose. Dallin there. Biggest lead for Toronto. Here's Graham. Nice backdoor cut. Lou gives it up. Iguodala. Watch out, folks. Bosch hesitated. Now drives off. Two-handed slam. Field, move out of the way. O'Neal, strong drive on the left. Bosch hustling for the rebound. Yes, CP4. Yeah. Big bucket, JK. The Raptors win Game 1.
Closing out their three-game road trip against the defending champs, the Raptors and Celtics locked horns in a playoff-like battle. But Paul Pierce showed why he was the MVP of the finals last year, scoring 22 points in the final frame to give Boston a 7-point win. Tonight, back on home court, the Raptors face a Sixers team that's dropped to the bottom of the division, having lost 3 in a row. Raptors-Sixers, this is Game Day. After going 1-2 on a three-game road trip, the Raptors are back home in Toronto at Air Canada Centre to face a division rival from Philly, who have struggled out of the gates, having lost 3 in a row. And Jermaine O'Neal and the Raptors looking to make that 4 in a row. As far as losses for their competition tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers in town. Welcome to our Center Court HQ studio. Paul Johnson along with Sherman Hamilton and the coach Jack Armstrong. And welcome to Raptors Game Day. The Philadelphia 76ers are in a bit of a funk right now. Having lost 3 in a row, sure.
Yeah, they're struggling. They can't win on the road, and at home, the style of basketball is different now with Elton Brand. So they have to really adjust with the style of up and down, figure out how to play in the half court, and also get their young guys playing on a consistent level. It's a bit of a transition for them, Jack.
1-2 on the road trip, Jack. Could have been worse. They could have got 0-3, but they did get a win. But again, a lot of the same kind of things that have been happening during this last run were happening on that road trip.
The Raptors, you mean? I apologize.
Right,
the Raptors, I think when you look at the Raptors right now, a big key for them is bouncing back. I thought they played exceptionally well for 3 quarters against the Boston Celtics, but they got to bounce back. Friday night in Atlanta, it wasn't good. I mean, quite frankly, they did a poor job with their perimeter defense. That had to tighten up, and I thought they made a great effort on Sunday against Charlotte. But Friday night, when you think about Atlanta, Joe Johnson, Bibby and company just flat out ate them up. But they bounced back the last 2 games. I thought the defensive intensity was a lot better.
Outscored the Raptors 36-12 from beyond the three-point line. Into Charlotte we go, Sherman. After kind of a so-so start, Chris Bosh took over in the fourth quarter, 14 of his 30.
He did a great job, and Andrea Bargnani stepped up as well, scoring. And I really thought the defensive presence that both Chris Bosh and Andrea showed was absolutely excellent. They blocked shots, they altered shots, they rebounded the ball. That's the type of fourth quarter that they could have used in Atlanta.
You touched on Boston, Jack. A very tight, very physical playoff-style game.
Oh, it was a wonderful game. It was one of those games that you think about a Game 7 in the playoffs. I don't know if you can get better a game than that. And Paul Pierce was just sensational in the fourth quarter, scoring, making plays for teammates. And the Raptors just didn't execute down the stretch. And we're a little apprehensive offensively as well. And you got to find a way to get Bosh involved. I would imagine tonight, early and often, number 4 will see some touches.
I would think so. There are the stats from the trip. Scored 89 points a game, gave up 94. Field goal percentage pretty decent. Overall, I guess the three-point field goal percentage is pretty decent. Our rebound numbers still have to be higher. They're still good overall as far as the NBA standings are concerned, as far as assists per game. But again, they're just not getting over the hump as far as some of those late game execution plays.
No, you're right, and it was evident in Boston, and the Raptors really succumbed to the pressure of the Boston Celtics. 6 turnovers in that fourth quarter. That's not the way to get it done. And you're talking about offensive execution. The Raptors really went away from some of the things that got them the lead in Boston, the energy, the rebounding, defending well, and finishing defensive possessions with rebounds. Those are the elements that can give them success going into this game versus Philly.
Jack, this Philadelphia team is the team they faced in the season opener. It was Philadelphia's home opener. A lot of people excited about what may or may not be with the Sixers going into that game, certainly in Philadelphia. The optimism is high, but That was a game that the Toronto Raptors went in there, and after the first quarter kind of stubbed their toe a little bit. Over the final 3 quarters, outscored Philadelphia 77-63.
Well, Jermaine O'Neal played big that game. I thought the second unit was terrific, giving the Raptors a lift. And, you know, beyond the issue of the rebounding, which was a problem in the first game against Philadelphia, I thought the Raptor big people established themselves well. The ball movement was really good. And Philadelphia had the same problem in that game that they've had in all their games, and that is they have to do a better job taking care of the ball. But the Raptors, a lot more functional together from an offensive perspective in that game than Philadelphia was.
10 points in the fourth quarter for Jason Cavono as well didn't help, or didn't hurt.
Well, you're right, and the fact that he was on the court shows you how different the Raptors lineup is. The bigs were creating a lot of havoc close to the basket, so when Philadelphia was sucked in, now Jason Cavono could get some clean looks. But I will say this, even though the Raptors were down in terms of rebounds early in that Philly game, they were composed, they played better basketball through the last 3 quarters, and they really got it together on the defensive end, which led to great offensive play.
And not a lot has changed from that loss to the Toronto Raptors to where they sit right now. They've lost 3 in a row and find themselves, Jack, at the bottom of the Atlantic Division.
Well, and you know, you look at the Raptors right now, the Knicks surprisingly at 4-3. So even though it's an early game and both teams have only played 7 games, you know what, when you start talking about head-to-head battles, and a lot of people have picked the Raptors and the Sixers like right in the same neighborhood in terms of the standings at the end of the year, the head-to-head comes first. Get a W tonight. That helps you a long way as the season goes on.
They've beat them once, and they will try it again, and they will use their 4 All-Stars on the All-Star ballot for this year to help get it done. Jermaine O'Neal is one of them, along with Chris Bosh, Jose Calderon. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk about those All-Stars and who might be All-Star bound when we come back.